Have you ever noticed something strange? Two people can stand in front of the exact same broken car. One sees a problem, the other sees a puzzle. Most people hear an engine making a strange noise and think, I should call a mechanic. But someone else hears that same noise and smiles. They grab a toolbox, roll up their sleeves, and disappear into the garage for the next 4 hours. Not because they have to, because they genuinely want to. To some people, that seems impossible to understand. Why spend an entire weekend fixing an old engine when you could simply pay someone else? Psychology suggests that the answer has very little to do with the car, and almost everything to do with the human mind. There's something deeply satisfying about taking something broken and making it work again. Long before cars existed, human beings survived by solving problems with their hands, building shelters, making tools, repairing what they owned. Our brains evolved to reward successful problem solving. Every time we solve a difficult challenge, our brain releases dopamine. Not because the task was easy, because effort led to progress. Psychologists call this mastery, the feeling that your own actions change the world around you. For people who enjoy fixing cars, that feeling is incredibly powerful. Think about modern life for a moment. Many jobs have invisible results. You answer emails, move numbers around on a screen. By the end of the day, it's often difficult to point at something and say, I built that. Repairing a car is different. The problem is real. The solution is visible. An engine that wouldn't start now runs perfectly. A broken part works again. That immediate feedback gives the brain something it rarely receives in everyday life. Proof that your effort mattered. Psychologist Albert Bandura believed that one of the strongest sources of confidence comes from mastery experiences. Not compliments, not motivation, experience. Every successful repairer quietly teaches the same lesson. I can figure difficult things out. That belief slowly spreads. Someone who learns to rebuild an engine often becomes more confident solving completely unrelated problems. Because the brain remembers success, not just the task itself. Then there's something called flow. Psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi spent decades studying moments when people become completely absorbed in what they're doing. Time disappears. Distractions fade. Hours pass without being noticed. This state is known as flow. People experience it while painting, playing music, rock climbing, programming, and very often, repairing machines. Fixing a car demands just enough concentration to quiet the mind. Too easy, and you become bored. Too difficult, and you become frustrated. But when the challenge perfectly matches your skill, something remarkable happens. The constant noise inside your head becomes silent. For many people, the garage becomes one of the few places where their mind finally rests. This explains something many people misunderstand. They assume fixing cars is stressful. For the person doing it, it's often the opposite. Life is unpredictable. Relationships are complicated. Work can feel chaotic. But an engine follows rules. Every bolt has a purpose. Every sound has a cause. Every problem has a solution, even if finding it takes time. Psychologists call this a high-control environment. The more uncertain life feels, the more comforting, predictable systems become. There's another fascinating reason people enjoy repairing cars. Modern life rarely lets us slow down. Everything is instant. Messages arrive immediately. Food arrives within minutes. Entertainment never ends. Car repair refuses to be rushed. A seized bolt doesn't care about your schedule. A diagnosis can't be guessed. Patience isn't optional. It's required. That process quietly teaches something many people have forgotten. Some things become meaningful precisely because they take time. Research in self-determination theory, developed by psychologists Edward Deci and Richard Ryan, suggests that lasting satisfaction comes from 3 psychological needs: autonomy, competence, connection. Fixing a car often satisfies all 3. You're choosing the task yourself. You're developing skill. And for many enthusiasts, you're connecting with family, friends, or a community that shares the same passion. That's why garages often become gathering places. They're not just places to repair machines. They're places where people share knowledge, stories, experience, and sometimes friendship. Then there's identity. Ask someone why they enjoy working on cars, and they rarely begin with horsepower. Instead, they'll say, I just like knowing how things work. That's an important clue. The car isn't always the real interest. Curiosity is. Psychologists describe curiosity as one of the strongest predictors of lifelong learning. People who naturally enjoy understanding systems often find enormous satisfaction in mechanical work. Every repair answers another question. Every successful diagnosis makes the world feel slightly more understandable. Interestingly, many people who enjoy fixing cars also become the people others rely on, not just with vehicles, with life. They're often the calm person during a crisis, the one who says, let's figure out, instead of, we're in trouble, because years spent solving mechanical problems teach a valuable habit. Don't panic. Diagnose first. Whether it's a strange engine noise or a difficult situation, the mindset stays the same. Observe, think, act. But psychology also reminds us that hobbies often meet emotional needs we don't immediately recognize. For some people, repairing cars becomes more than recreation. It becomes therapy, not because they're escaping life, because they're regulating it. After a difficult day, the garage offers something increasingly rare. Silence, focus, progress, no office politics, no pressure to explain yourself. Just you, your tools, and one problem at a time. Of course, not every attachment is healthy. Sometimes people spend every free hour in the garage because it's easier than facing difficult conversations, easier than dealing with loneliness, easier than confronting emotions. Like every passion, balance matters. The healthiest hobbies don't replace life. They enrich it. The goal isn't to disappear into the garage forever. It's to return feeling calmer than when you entered. So, what's the psychology of people who enjoy fixing cars? It's probably not simply that they like machines. More often, they enjoy competence, progress, problem-solving, learning, patience, craftsmanship, and perhaps most importantly, they enjoy the rare feeling of taking something that seemed impossible and proving that it wasn't. Because every repaired engine tells the same quiet story. Broken doesn't always mean finished. Sometimes, it simply means someone hasn't understood the problem yet. And perhaps, that's a lesson that reaches far beyond cars. It reminds us that people, like machines, often deserve patience before judgment. Sometimes the right diagnosis changes everything. People who enjoy fixing cars are not simply repairing machines. They're building confidence, finding peace, and proving that with patience, understanding, and effort, many things can be restored.